Hi friends, I'm Karina with Sacred Elements. Welcome to my channel. Now let's get started. Okay, so for the last part of this little tutorial about Burro's tail sedum and repotting the cuttings, this vessel does not have drainage holes, and I have on my blog on Sacred Elements pdx.com, you can go and read my blog on basically, I think I have maybe 8 or 9 of them up now, about how I approach houseplant care and tips that I've learned along the way in the last 20 years. Okay, first step is you can get some coarse sand or very small gravel. This is pea gravel just from my front yard, and I've used it for years, so that's what I have. It's accessible. So I line the bottom third-ish of my pot with drainage, basically pea gravel. And I only recommend doing this method with succulents or cacti because their water levels are so easy to control. So you know you're gonna water it really well, you know roughly the amount you're gonna water it, and then you're gonna leave it alone, which is why I think that using vessels with without drainage holes, it's okay. Again, check out my blog because I kind of go into detail. And also very important with that is making sure that you use succulent cactus soil because the drainage, once again, you want to make sure there's a lot of pumice. You want to make sure there's nice drainage in there. So next step is this. I'm gonna fill it up with my succulent cactus blend. I really like EB Stone's organic blend. They're usually my favorite. I think this is what's in here. See that nice pumice? It's great drainage. All these little white guys. Okay, so I fill it up most of the way because I know that this is going to be cuttings. This is not like a chunk with roots that I need to leave space for. Like in the other video with my Serapegia woodii, I only filled it up about 2/3 of the way because I had a whole root system I was gonna put in there. But this is just cuttings. So what I'm gonna do is start, again, you're gonna handle them so gently with open hands. Is kind of how I think about, like I barely touch it. And this is the trickiest part. You basically need to be firm to get them in there without breaking. So again, gentle hands and just use a nice movement. And I'm choosing this guy to go in the middle because I think of it as being like the centerpiece. And visually it'll look a lot cuter if the center is full. So I'm just kind of twisting him in there for now. Then I'll go ahead and take this one. Same thing. And since the soil is nice and dry, it's really easy to put them in there. And again, I just cut this off. This is how I like to repot my succulents. You make sure that this is very important, everyone. You make sure that this soil is dry if you are planting newly cut succulent stems, because that way they will not rot the stem. Because this right here, we are looking to have that heal over in a dry environment. You can leave it out, you can leave these stems out for a week just like this and then pot them up. I'm just showing you how I would pot them up. I'm gonna make sure to not water it though. Does that make sense? So just to clarify, I'm showing you how to plant these because I want it all in one video. You have 2 options when you're taking cuttings, succulent cuttings. One is take them, cut them, leave them in a soft environment, out of the sun ideally. If it's summertime and hot, they don't want to get fried. Just leave them somewhere in a nice, just quiet environment, not a lot of sun, in the shade, or inside, not in a freezing environment either, and let the end callus over. You can leave them out for like a week, and that's about enough time. Then you can pot them up in soil and then water them. Or you can do what I'm doing, which is cutting them, and knowing that I'm going to be planting them for this, I wanted to show you guys, cutting them, putting them into very dry soil. The soil hasn't seen water in months. So putting them into very dry soil, and then in about a week, maybe 2 weeks, I'm gonna give it a really nice water, and I'm also gonna feed it. So that's kind of the different options. I'm gonna keep adding my little guys. This one's a little trickier. Oh, I broke it, darn it. So, but it's okay, see, I broke it. No big deal, because I'm actually gonna use a lot of these leaves to propagate on top. Oop, see, I broke a few. Sometimes that happens. Darn it, oh well. And now, since this guy is going to get really tall really soon with these longer stems, I'm just gonna prop it up for now. Hopefully it'll stay for us. And I'll add this in as well. This is actually a little long. Add this beauty in there. And again, give it some support right here. Kind of give it a twist. Okay, in there. Uh-oh, we broke. It's okay. We broke, but we're still hanging out in there and it's supported. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to cut it in two. Okay, so what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and go, okay, why don't we go where the thinnest part is about right here. Oh, that's the wrong end. Let's do that again. Let's take those off and then I'll cut it right here. Oops, that's not a very good cut, so I'm gonna do it again. I want it to be nice and clean. See that? That'll be my new stem that goes in here. And like I said before, the end of that will be, it'll split and make two. Give it a twist. There we go. That's that baby. And then this chunky beauty, I'm going to remove about an inch or two, so we have a nice stem. And these leaves are gonna propagate so beautifully. About that much. Go ahead and stick it on top. I think I'll probably get it out of the middle. Make sure it's in there. And a little bit further. There we go. Okay, I'm almost done. Here is my beautiful new plant. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose the chunkiest, greenest leaves. So probably not this one, and probably not that one, and probably not that one. These are beautiful and chunky, looking healthy. Not every single one will propagate, but quite a few of them will. So I'm gonna overplant them on purpose. Fill in all those holes. And that's it. And since I just freshly put in these cuttings, once again, I will not be watering this. I'm gonna wait about a week, 10 days or so, and then I'm gonna water it very well. So for a container this size, very well, I'd say about between a half a cup and a cup of distilled water. I just leave my water out, like tap water out. If you don't have, like I don't have access to necessarily distilled water all the time, so I actually just fill up containers and leave them to off gas overnight, a few nights, and that kind of naturally distills them at least a little bit. And then I will feed it as well at the same time. And then I'll put this beautiful baby in a location that gets some sun. Oh my goodness, I hope you can see this. My view is this gorgeous sun coming through, and it gets this beautiful late afternoon light. That's the ideal exposure. In fact, I'll probably put this one up here while it hangs out for the next week. And you see this light, it's so beautiful. So here is the newest edition, and I would say in about 2 years or so, this will be about twice, maybe about down to here, and all these new babies will have come out. That'll be fun to visit in a couple of years, actually. Thanks so much for subscribing. If you'd like to connect with me daily, head on over to Instagram at Sacred Elements, or you can find me on my website at sacredelementspdx.com. Be sure to hit that bell for notifications. Cheers, friends.